All praise belongs to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad, his pure household, Ahlul Bayt, and his noble companions. May the peace, mercy, and blessings of Allah be upon you. Welcome. I was once deeply fascinated by Islamic Sufi mystic experiences and the supernatural world. Driven by a desire to witness the supernatural, I prayed desperately to Allah to grant me such spiritual powers. One night, I had a vivid dream. I found myself at home, lying on the ground, when I felt compelled to recite verses from different surahs of the Quran. Suddenly, an angel descended from the sky like a meteorite, crashing toward me with a thunderous roar. It halted just inches from my body, radiating waves of dark energy that I could physically see. The terror I felt was paralyzing. I couldn't look up or move. In desperation, I cried out to Allah to save me. After that dream, I abandoned my pursuit of these experiences. Yet, over time, my curiosity resurfaced, and I began making dua again, pleading for another chance. In a subsequent dream, I recited another combination of verses. This time, the angel appeared behind me. Though I longed to turn and face it, the overwhelming fear froze me once more. Again, I begged Allah for deliverance. Later, I came across someone who explained a method he claimed to have learned from the Sufi saints. It involved long and difficult practices. If Allah accepted one's efforts, an angel would eventually appear, presenting itself as the most terrifying thing imaginable. The test required the person to face the angel and say, "Teach me the secret verses of the Quran and activate them for me." The angel would then respond, "I will teach you, but you must understand that this knowledge and power can never be used to harm innocent people. If you break this condition, you will die a terrible death. I will kill you myself." If the person accepted, the angel would proceed with the teachings. I felt both happy and disappointed, happy that I had encountered the angel without undergoing any of the difficult practices, yet disappointed that I had failed the basic test. I had not even been able to look at its face, let alone ask it for anything. Later, I met a Sufi scholar well versed in mystical practices. After questioning my intentions, he agreed to guide me once I assured him of my readiness. He taught me specific Quranic verses and tasbihat, remembrances, to recite, advising me to dedicate their rewards to Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani. When I asked why, he replied, "For the barakah of the awliya." I agreed, though I didn't think much of it at the time. That night, I dreamt of standing in a long line of Muslims approaching the tomb of Sheikh Abdul Qadir. He stood outside, accepting gifts. Overwhelmed, I wept as he embraced me. Wiping my tears, he said, "I know what you seek, Hamid, my child, but I cannot assist you now. I am occupied. Another time." In other words, he could not make dua for me at that moment to ask Allah to grant my wish. Reflecting on these experiences, I confided in my teacher. These pursuits aren't for me, at least not now. My religious knowledge is limited, and I was too young, craving power without understanding its responsibility. Years later, I still lack the confidence to engage in such practices. As Allah reminds us in the Quran, "You may hate something that is good for you, or love something that is evil for you. God knows, but you do not." Subhanallah, at that time, I was disappointed that Sheikh Abdul Qadir did not make dua for me. But now, looking back and reflecting on this verse, I realize it was actually good for me, even though I wasn't happy about it that day. If you feel drawn to mystical paths, first deepen your knowledge of Islam. Build a strong foundation, mature spiritually, and wait until at least the age of 40, a time of wisdom in many traditions. If the longing persists and you are prepared for the responsibility, then proceed with caution. What glimmers as supernatural wonder often carries unseen burdens.